Do you ever feel guilty when you fall asleep in movies?
I don't tend to fall asleep too much in movies, but I like a little dipping in and out. Except for last year at Marion Bad, I've never seen all the way through because I remember my dad showing it to us as a kid, and like it was beautiful, and then falling asleep. But recently, I was talking to someone who works at Chanel, and they were saying, "I didn't realize Coco Chanel made all the costumes." I'm like, I have to try to watch it. But that one, I think, is pretty challenging for everyone.
It's totally challenging for everyone. I love that your dad showed you that as a kid.
Luckily, I got exposed to some great world films because my dad was just watching them and interested in them.
So he was just watching them?
Yeah, he was just watching them. He wasn't really showing us, but we were just around. No, but that one he kind of made us all
10-year-old
watch.
Sophia, come in here. I need you to see this Renee film.
No, I feel like he wanted us all to watch it because it's a great film. And then I was a kid, and I just remember falling asleep. But I do have lots of memories of, he's such a Kurosawa fan, and so I remember he had like a screen on our porch and was watching Yojimbo. Our dog was named Yojimbo growing up because of the movie, and he was watching them. I remember in the 80s during like Rumblefish time, being a kid. So I feel like luckily I got exposed to some films that I would not have seen otherwise, just because he was watching it and we were around.
And you have kids now.
Yes. So and I feel guilty that they are not being exposed.
So you're not taking them on the cinema tour.
I try to elevate it a little bit to from their choices, and they complain if something's black and white, but then they get with it. But I was feeling guilty because we just had that around us, and we grew up without TV reception.
Oh,
and
really?
I grew up in Napa Valley,
right?
And there was a mountain behind our house in the country, and there was no TV. So what I was watching was my dad's Laserdisc collection and random movies that we saw over and over again.
What was in heavy rotation?
Well, I remember watching Breathless when I was 12. I think that was that was probably like the first movie impression that I really loved, and that I just remember really being impressed by. And I thought Belmondo was so dreamy, and I still think about Breathless when I'm shooting something. I always love how intimate it feels, and it feels like the camera's really close to the actors, which I always like that feeling, and I always try to do, and just that there's some intimacy, and it feels like a snapshot, and just the naturalism of it, and it's romantic. I think all those things always is something that stays in my mind.
Yeah, the camera's right up in there with them.
Yeah, I love when you feel that. I don't like when the camera, in my own work, when the camera feels far away. I guess it depends on what you're trying to convey, but I always love the feeling that the camera feels close to the actors. That stays in my mind as the first movie that really, that and Purple Rain around the same time.
Oh, how great.
Which I saw in the theater, and I went back and saw over and over.
What do you think resonated for you? Was it just Prince?
It was just Prince, and it was like sexy and cool, and I was 12, and it felt like very like, grown-ups. And I don't know, he was so electric. And I remember Gilda making a big impression on me because I was like, is that how grown women are? And she was so glamorous, and the whole complication between the relationships. When I saw it before, being a kid and not knowing any of, what adult relationships were like.